From Jessie secretly being the most vicious villain in the franchise, to the real reason Andy never replaced a single toy, today we're breaking down 10 hidden things you didn't notice in Toy Story. But first, if you love Woody, drop a cowboy hat emoji. And if you're a fan of Toy Story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Number 1. Jessie is actually Toy Story's hidden villain. What if the toy everyone roots for has been sabotaging Woody from the very beginning? Start with the escape scene. Woody finally gets his broken arm back and is ready to leave, when suddenly the TV turns on, waking the toy store owner, who locks Woody back in the cabinet and takes his arm away. Woody sees the remote sitting right next to Jessie. Stinky Pete later admits he flipped the switch, but Jessie was standing right there the entire time. She knew, and she said nothing. But then it gets worse. In Toy Story 3, Andy's mom accidentally throws the toy bag out, a genuine mistake. Woody saw it happen with his own eyes. He tries to explain, but Jessie shuts him down completely and pushes everyone to abandon Andy forever. Here's what makes that so dark. It was Woody who rescued Jessie when she had nobody, brought her into Andy's home, gave her a loving life, and the moment things got difficult, she was the first one to walk away. Stinky Pete pulled the trigger, but Jessie, she let it happen, both times. Number 2, there's a secret villain already hidden inside. Toy Story 5. Did you know Pixar has been hiding future characters inside their movies for decades? And Toy Story 5 almost certainly has one buried in it right now. Pixar's tradition is to sneak a character from their next film somewhere in the current one. The most famous example, in 2009's Up, they hid Lotso before Toy Story 3 even had a trailer. Most audiences had no idea until they went back and looked. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Toy Story 5 is introducing a brand new animation style, never used in a Pixar film before. And the next Pixar movie after it is Gato, which is the first Pixar film animated entirely in a different style. So the new animation could be the tease. A cat appearing in Toy Story 5's new visual style, quietly introducing Gato's world before anyone realizes what they're looking at. The clue is already in the movie. Most people will only notice it after Gato releases, and by then, Pixar will have done it again. Number 3. The Spanish Buzz scene had a completely different joke in Spain. Wait, did you know the Spanish Buzz scene in Toy Story 3 actually plays out differently depending on which country you watched it in? In the original English version, the joke is that Ham can't fix Buzz because the reset instructions are written in Spanish. Simple, clean, funny. But in the Latin American Spanish dub, that joke completely falls apart. You can't have Buzz suddenly speak Spanish when the whole movie is already in Spanish. So instead, Buzz switches to a Castilian accent from Spain, which sounds completely foreign to Latin American audiences. And the joke gets rewritten. Ham can't fix Buzz because the instructions are in Japanese. But then it gets even wilder. For the Spain dub specifically, Buzz suddenly breaks into an exaggerated Andalusian accent from southern Spain, a regional dialect that's a go-to comedy accent in that country. Same scene. 3 completely different jokes, and every audience thought they were watching the original version. Number 4. The toys were never actually alive. Andy imagined everything. What if the most beloved franchise in Pixar history is actually the story of a lonely child and nothing more? Think about it. Across 4 entire movies, not a single human ever accidentally catches the toys moving. Not once. In a house with a mom, a baby sister, neighbors, and friends, nobody ever sees anything. That's not careful. That's impossible, unless the toys were never moving at all. Then there's the biggest clue. Andy has no friends. Not one scene in any movie shows him spending time with another kid. His only companions are his toys, who he describes with deep personal detail, specific personalities, full emotional histories. And here's what that actually explains. Buzz Lightyear freezes around humans despite believing he's a real space ranger. Why would a character who fully believes his own identity feel the need to freeze? Unless that rule, the rule that toys go still, only exists inside Andy's imagination. Because Buzz isn't real. None of them are. The adventures are all real. They just only ever happened inside one boy's mind. Number 5. Andy figured out the toys were alive years ago. Here's the theory that reframes the entire franchise. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. When Lotso got lost, Daisy's parents bought her an identical replacement. That's completely normal. Kids lose toys, parents replace them. But Woody and Buzz have both gone missing multiple times across 4 movies. They're not rare, they're not expensive. Andy could have replaced either of them the next day. He never did, not one. And then there's the most telling detail of all. Andy kept every single toy until he was 17 years old, a teenage boy, still holding on to childhood toys he supposedly just forgot about, while getting rid of everything else in his room. He didn't keep them out of habit. He kept them because he knew. He figured it out somewhere along the way and decided the secret was worth protecting, because replacing a toy that's alive isn't replacing a toy. It's something much worse. Number 6. Woody was Andy's last memory of his dead father. Why was Andy so attached to Woody specifically? Not Buzz, who was newer and cooler, not any other toy. Just Woody, always Woody. Here's the theory that makes everything hurt more. Andy's father never appears in any of the movies. Not a a single scene, not a single mention. Fans believe he passed away, and before he died, the last thing he gave Andy was Woody. His mom saw how attached Andy became and started buying him other toys to help him cope. That's how Buzz arrived. That's how all of them arrived, not as random gifts, as grief support. And when Andy finally hands Woody to Bonnie before college, he's not just giving away a toy, he's releasing the last physical piece of his father. He saw himself in Bonnie, a little kid who needed that same comfort, and he chose to pass it on. That final goodbye wasn't just Andy growing up, it was Andy finally letting go. Number 7. Woody loses something in every single movie, and it's been building to one final loss. Did you notice the pattern? Because once you see it, every Toy Story film hits completely differently. Toy Story 1, Woody loses his place as Andy's favorite. Buzz arrives and he becomes invisible overnight. Toy Story 2, Woody loses his arm, and even after it's repaired, it comes back slightly bulkier, permanently uneven. The damage stays. Toy Story 3, Woody loses Andy. The person he was built to love grows up and moves on. Toy Story 4, Woody gives away his voice box to save Forky, then loses his sheriff badge, passed to Jessie. His identity, his role, his purpose, gone. But here's where it gets interesting. In the Toy Story 5 teaser, look closely at the top of Woody's head. There's a small patch of hair missing, a smooth, shiny spot. Years of wear finally showing on the outside. Every movie took something from him, and the one thing he has left now is starting to go too. Number 8. Children's imagination is what actually brings toys to life. The franchise never explained how toys become alive, but this fan theory fills every single gap. And it's almost certainly correct. Think about the inconsistencies. Some toys know they're toys. Some genuinely believe they're real people. Some can talk. Some can't. There's no rule that applies to all of them. Unless the rule isn't about the toys at all. It's about the children who own them. Buzz believes he's a real space ranger because Andy watched the Buzz Lightyear show and knows exactly who Buzz is. His backstory, his mission, his personality. Andy's imagination locked that identity in. Woody behaves like a generic cowboy because Andy doesn't know where he came from. So Woody became whatever Andy needed him to be. Slinky is loyal because dogs are loyal. Bullseye can't speak because horses don't. And Sid's toys, built from broken parts, imagined as monsters, behaved like monsters. The toys don't decide who they are, the children do. And that means every toy in every bedroom in the world is exactly as alive as the child playing with them believes. Number 9. Sid was never actually a villain. He was a victim. Wait, what if the kid everyone hated in Toy Story 1 was the character who deserved the most sympathy? Sid was 10 years old. Yes, 10. He was mean to his sister, which is just what older siblings do. But look at what was actually happening in that house. His father is passed out drunk on the couch, surrounded by beer cans in the middle of the day, and Sid's bedroom has multiple locks on the door, not to keep toys from escaping, to keep his father from getting in. But here's what really reframes him. Sid is genuinely creative. He takes broken things and builds something new out of them. In a different home, with support, with resources, with safety, that's an artist. But in his home, with no outlet and no friends, comes out sideways. And that last detail. Sid was the only kid not invited to Andy's birthday party. Not one of the other kids, just Sid, left out completely. He wasn't torturing toys because he was evil. He was a creative, isolated kid with a dangerous home life and no one to tell. Number 10. Pixar deliberately hid Andy's face for the entire movie. And this last one is the most straightforward hidden detail in the whole franchise. And almost nobody knows the real reason behind it. Pixar's animation technology in 1995 simply could not render human skin convincingly. Every time they tried, Andy's face came out with this uncanny plastic effect. Not quite real, not quite cartoon, just wrong. So they made a creative decision. Keep Andy on screen as little as possible. Limit his close-up scenes to just a few seconds each. Pull the camera away whenever they could. Let the toys carry every scene. The one exception, Sid. And honestly, it works perfectly. Sid is supposed to be unsettling. That slightly off plastic skin texture that looked wrong on Andy. On the villain, it fits exactly right. Pixar accidentally made their limitation part of the storytelling, and Andy ended up being the most important character in the franchise while barely appearing in it at all. And that's it. Which one shocked you the most? A hidden detail you completely missed, or a theory that changes how you see the whole franchise? Let me know in the comments. If you want the next part, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because we're uncovering even more Toy